Hi friends, this is Kristen from Shackteau Interiors, and I'm here to show you how I made over this vintage maple bench using Shackteau Interiors milk paint. All products I'm using are linked in the description box. First I noticed there was something stuck on the bench, so I used some all-purpose spray and a glass scraper to scrape it off. Next I used TSP to clean the entire piece. This product is specifically formulated to prep wood for paint. While I'm letting my bench dry, I'm mixing up my milk paint. I use distilled water. I like to start with a ½ cup of water first. I usually use a jar with a tight fitting lid. I like to clean out the cup so that the powder doesn't stick to the water left behind. Now it's time to measure the powder. I like to make sure that it's nice and even, so I'll level off the top. It can be tricky to get the powder into the jar, so sometimes I'll use a piece of paper and use it like a funnel, or you could just use a funnel. Then you want to shake up the milk paint for about a minute and let it sit. I let it sit for about 10 minutes, and now it's time to add the extra bond. I'm adding the extra bond because I don't want a chippy finish on this piece. If you do want a chippy finish, then skip the extra bond. The extra bond is like a glue, so this will ensure that the paint will stick to my piece. I add in almost a ½ cup of this. Shake again and let sit for a couple more minutes. You'll notice that the milk paint is a little bit thinner than other paints. Now that I added the extra bond, I'm going to shake it and let it sit again. While my milk paint sits, I'm going to start scuff sanding my piece with 120 grit. I'm using my power sander, but if you don't have one, you can use a sanding block. Scuff sanding is going to help the milk paint adhere to the wood. Here I am using a sanding block to get into the smaller spindles. Now it's time to use a tack cloth to get off all the dust that I just created. You'll notice I'm wearing a mask. It's super important to wear a mask anytime you're sanding anything. Tack cloths are super tacky, but they get the job done. Oh hey, look at me, I'm ready to paint. You'll notice I have two different brushes. I'm using a round Zibra brush on the spindle legs and a precision sash brush on the flatter parts. You'll notice that the bench is upside down. I find it way easier to start this way so I don't miss any spots on the legs. Once my legs were dry enough, I'm able to flip the bench over and start on the other side. You'll see that I painted the entire underside of the bench. Here's the bench with one coat and a couple little touch-ups later. Once dried, I decided I wanted to distress my piece just a little bit. So I'm using my power sander with a 240 grit sandpaper. Again, you don't need a power sander, you can also use a sanding block. Now I'm going to use the tack cloth again to clean the dust that I just created. The final step is sealing the milk paint. Here I'm using our furniture wax. I'm using a microfiber cloth and I'm just buffing it on in little circles. You'll notice how the wax just brings the paint color to life. I let the wax sit for about 10 minutes and then I buff it with a clean microfiber cloth. Here's a reminder of what the bench looked like before. And here's how it looks now. I hope this video will help you guys with your next Shackteau Interiors milk paint project. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks guys.